This is my dog, C. 4 years ago, in the arms of my daughter, who was 13 at the time. She promised me that if she could keep C, that she would walk him, always. And I believed her. A few months later, I had to remind her to this promise, but she, well, had other things on her mind. I begged her, promised her, punished her, but since C had changed from a cute little puppy into a normal dog, she had other things on her mind. Like her new iPhone, which she stared at for most of the day. As responsible parents, we restricted the use of our phone to 3 hours a day. Do these 3 hours include the time I'm walking with C? She asked. You don't walk 3 hours a week, but my wife already replied, while walking C, you can use your phone as much as you like. This is C now hiding whenever my daughter wants to take him out for yet another walk. He needs his rest. This taught me that a totally different idea can solve a problem instantly. And that's divergent thinking. And since then, it has changed my life completely. But the best thing is, I found out how everybody can use divergent thinking in all questions and problems by using a simple tool. And that's the idea I would like to share with you this morning. Now, divergent thinking is the ability to come up with lots of different answers to a question, see lots of possibilities. While convergent thinking always leads to the same answers, the same sort of questions. You recognize a problem, or you think you do, and then automatically jump to the same standard solution. Now the strange thing is, we all had this ability to think divergent when we were a child, but we also almost all lost it when we grew up. Maybe because of our education system. We teach our children there's only one correct answer to a question, while they see more options. You've probably seen those examples of school tests in which children come up with very creative answers. This is my favorite one. But instead of rewarding them for their creativity, we punish them for an incorrect answer. We educate them out of thinking divergent. A scientific study shows that 98% of all 5-year-olds are very, very good at divergent thinking, while in adults this is only 2%. This means that statistically, in this room, there are only 3, 4, 5 people who are very good at divergent thinking, while it's considered as one of the most valuable and useful abilities we have. Now that's strange, don't you think? Now, how many of you have a job, or work, or study in some kind of way? Please raise your hand if you do. And how many of you have to come up with an idea, or solve a problem once every while you're doing this? Almost everybody, or everybody, right? But how many of you had to know that there is 2%? One of the 4 people here in this room. How many of you know you are good at divergent thinking? And not think you are, but know you are. Which is essential when you want to come up with an idea or solve a problem once every while. We educate ourselves and learn all kinds of abilities, but we completely ignore and lose the one ability that can help us all, always. Now the consequence of this loss is best shown by Arink. Here it is. If you already know it, those who know please, but just raise your hand and keep silent. A father and a son are driving in their car when they became involved in an accident in which the father was tragically killed. The son was heavily wounded, brought to the hospital, but on arrival in the operation room, the surgeon, who was on duty, stumbles, face still white, I cannot operate this little boy, because he's my son. Now what happened? Not knowing the answer right away because your brain follows the thinking paths that are already there, created by previous experiences. You're suffering from assumption. And in this case, the assumption that all doctors are men. But women are doctors too, of course. which leads to the answer to the riddle that the surgeon was the boy's father. The assumption prevented you from coming up with more, or in this case, the correct answer. But there's hope. I invented a little tool that helps everybody start thinking divergent again. In all questions and problems, both in private life as well as in business. And I call it the curiosity triangle because it helps me turn my curiosity into more and better ideas. Now the first thing you have to do is question everything by asking why as many times as possible, like a 5-year-old. Staying as curious as a 5-year-old will help you name all solutions. And secondly, you have to focus on the problem. Now this is hard because we are focused on answers. But the only way towards more and better answers is focusing on the problem first. Albert Einstein once said, if I was given 1 hour to save the world, I would spend 55 minutes on the problem. Because then I only need 5 minutes to solve it. Investigate the problem and eliminate all the assumptions that are not true. That helps you rephrase the problem to what it really is. And thirdly, you have to flip think by naming the exact opposite to what is usually done. And then exaggerate it, forcing your brain into new and different thinking paths. Now let me show you what I mean. In a case, let's take speeding in traffic, known to a lot of people, and certainly an issue here in Tilburg, in the Tilburg City Ring, if I have to believe my newspaper. Now the questions a 5-year-old would ask here are, why do people speed? Why do we punish them? And who speeds? The assumptions, answers coming from these questions probably be, people speed on purpose. And they speed to save time. And we punish them because that will prevent them of speeding again next time. And the people who speed probably drove that road for the first time. Focusing on this problem will show that all these assumptions are not true. And that the real reason why people speed is mainly they are not aware that they're speeding. And when they are aware, they do it to stay alert. Or just to have some fun. I recognize that one. And the people who speed knew the road they speeded on very well, driving from or to work every day. Now this helps me to rephrase the problem. And the problem is not how to prevent drivers from speeding, but how to give drivers what they want while driving below the speed limit. How to give drivers what they want while driving at a certain speed. Flip thinking is very interesting here. What will happen if we introduce reward as the opposite of punishment? Or racing as the exaggeration of speeding? The divergent thinking ideas in this case could be the introduction of a speed camera lottery, in which the camera takes pictures of all the cars. But those who obey the speed limit automatically enter in a lottery in which you can win money prizes, funded by the fines of those who speed. This idea is not mine, and actually already applied in Sweden with much better success than only photographing the speeders. Or reward the non-speeders with lower parking fees or other parking privileges, like special parking places for non-speeders. The ones we already have for disabled people and electric cars. When I speed, the fine makes me drive slower, but only for a very short period of time. Special parking places for non-speeders will have a better and longer effect on speeders as well. Because they are confronted with missing out on these special parking places every day while they are searching for a parking place. Or introduce gaming in which driving at the speed limit will trigger something. In this case, the asphalt making a song. But you can also think of giving clues to a puzzle at signs on the side of the road or on your mobile.
Helping drivers to stay alert creates possibilities in making driving below the speed limit fun. I never thought I could say this, but driving below the speed limit can be made more fun than speeding. And for those who do not believe this, we'll introduce the Great Tilburg City Street Race, organized by the local authorities, held every year. Entrance free, but only for non-speeders who have passed the Tilburg city ring at least 20 or 30 times last year. This idea actually reminds me to an idea the city of The Hague applied in the New Year's Eve riots that troubled this city for years. I know it very well because I grew up there. And as a teenager, the only thing I could think of at New Year's Eve was setting Christmas trees on fire. On almost every corner of the street we had these beautiful fires of Christmas trees and other useless things like furniture and car tires. The police described it as hell, but to me it felt like heaven. It really did. In fact, it still does. I spent New Year's Eve every year with my best friend Jan and his wife Sabine, and they know when I'm coming they have to hide their Christmas tree, otherwise I burn the entire place. But then the city of The Hague came up with this brilliant idea. They said, you want fires? Okay. But not the small ones you make right now. Let's make big fires. And in a competition between the different neighborhoods. But we do it on the beach, not in the streets. They rephrased the problem from how to prevent the teenagers making fire to how can we give them the fires they want, but without causing riots in the street. If someone really wants something, the solution in which you only prohibit this need, that will work not very well. A solution in which you satisfy the need, but in a context that also gives you what you want, that solution will work much better. Unfortunately, this year things got a little bit out of the hand, The Hague at New Year's Eve. But that was just bad execution. The idea itself works. There haven't been any riots and fires in the streets of The Hague for years. So I moved. Too boring. I came and live here in Tilburg. And here I started to work with an insurance company, the hottest place in town. And by pure coincidence, nothing to do with me, this company changed its entire business with one divergent idea. They instead of distrusting their customers, they started to trust them all. They eliminated the one idea the entire insurance industry held for the solid truth. The assumption that if you trust your customers, they will abuse this trust with a high number of false claims. And this is absolutely not true. Most customers only want to be trusted when they have a true claim. And recognizing this made Interpolis market leader. Now, are you aware of all the assumptions that you are working with every day? And are you sure that they are all true? Imagine one of them isn't. And this could turn into your biggest innovation ever. No research costs. No long development route. Just imagine. Divergent thinking is the most important ingredient in innovation. All innovation always started with an idea to do something differently. The examples I've mentioned all have one thing in common. A real sense of urgency. Interpol was almost bankrupt when they disrupted their industry. The city of The Hague really wasn't safe anymore at New Year's Eve. And my dog really has to go out 4 times every day. Here in Tilburg and the province of Brabant, we have the issue of the dumping of drug waste in nature. Everybody recognizes the sense of urgency, the costs, destruction of our nature, and a threat to our health. Now let's see what the curiosity triangle can do here. First, we question everything. Why is drug waste dumped in nature? I don't think because the drug producers hate nature, but because they have no other option. What else can they do with the waste? It's illegal. We made drug waste illegal because drugs and drug production are illegal. We linked the two problems. Drug waste only is a problem because drugs are a problem. If we could solve drugs as a problem, the drug waste as a problem was solved immediately. But why link the two issues? Why not separate them? And only focus on the real problem of only the drug waste. And that's the illegality of it. The fact that the drug producers have no other option to get rid of it. So let's see if we can rephrase the problem. From how to prevent the drug producers dumping their waste, to how can we give them another option to get rid of the waste, more attractive than dumping it, in a context that saves costs, nature, and our health. How to give them another option to get rid of the waste, more attractive than dumping it, in a context that saves cost, nature, and our health. Let's make drug waste legal, while drugs and drug production remains illegal. Flip thinking also helps here. Instead of punishing the dumping of waste, we reward the legal hand-in of waste. We pay for it to make it attractive. Now, the execution of the idea can be in various ways. But for instance, all drug waste can be handed in to the official local dump waste. And we pay for it. And we even give guarantees that no drug waste will ever be used in tracing back drugs and drug production to make it really attractive. Or even better, we come and pick it up from everywhere you like. Still pay for it. Same guarantees, as long as it's safe for our health and nature. And still fight drugs and drug production. I would like to end by quoting a dear friend of mine. His name is Suka Ratna Brahmacharya, and he's an English teacher in a small town of Bungamati in Nepal. He founded the Bungamati Foundation in Nepal 15 years ago. And he dedicates all of his energy and time in providing free education to all the children in the area. And when I asked him why he does this so passionately, he answered, "Every child deserves development. I only create an environment in which they can collect all abilities needed to turn into good Nepali adults. I can only add, I hope this includes the preserving of the one ability that can help us all, always. Stay divergent, stay curious." Thank you very much.